The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
See, I feel I'm the best in the sport, and to be the best, you got to be the best.
BoxingVoice.com. To be one champion, one face, one name. His name's Deontay Wilder. BoxingVoice.com.
Just the fact that I've been one of the keep them for the longest time.
110%. There's no doubt in my mind that fight will happen. There's no doubt in my mind I'll beat Wilder as well.
I'm scaring heavyweights each and every time. Don't you see it? You know, I am the most feared. And if I'm not, then I want somebody to shut me up. I want somebody to prove that to me. I want to be proven wrong. But for right now, I don't feel like nobody's gonna prove me wrong. Who has the guts?
What up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode numero dos of the morning. It is July 8th, and it's the second dosage of TBV. We're back with another one, heavy hitter style. We will be having Jamel Herring, the WBO 130-pound champion, sign of Top Rank Boxing, on the show in about another 15 minutes or so. And strong possibility we get his trainer, Bo Mack, Brian McIntyre, on the show at the noon hour. But we're here, gentlemen, to discuss the fact that obviously Jamel Herring tested positive for COVID, had to quarantine. Now his fight is back on and scheduled to make his second defense of his WBO title versus Jonathan Oquendo of Puerto Rico. So let me head on out to my co-host really quick. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one-time, voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget to hit Nestor Gibbs on Skype, and you can be part of the conversation from anywhere in the world. Let me go on out to Texas. What it do? Okay, wrong space. Texas, what it do?
It's me, Mario.
H-Town. Watch me go ahead, clown. No ordinary vocabulary legend in right now. Yo, rest in peace. Big heart. Yo, yeah, man, I'm super excited to talk to Jamel. Good thing Cash not on, because he always gets me calling him Jamal.
Jamel.
And so, yeah, we're going to get it. What up, Dooms? What up, Ness?
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dippy. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match.
Semper Fi. Was that a little too hard?
Yeah, you need a lower and you need a
bit,
pop filter. I
bit.
told you, man. You got your perforated P's are so explosive. Like, you got to watch your P's.
You know what though? I could help you. Listen, when I was first starting to record, I was bad with it, bro. My cousin would be yelling at me because I was so bad, and I could help you with it though. Yeah. I mean, it helps definitely, but I got to a point where it's just like it's the mechanics in which you speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to go from like regular talk to mic talk. But
one segundo. Anyway, I was trying to come in with the hard energy, Semper Fi, Hoorah.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, give me 1 second. Bell ringing.
No problem, bro. We got
why
you.
Why do I always
think,
read that in my own little dyslexic way? I always look at it like siempre fiel. For whatever reason, but I know it's missing like an L at the end, right? Like, for it to be fiel, how would you spell fiel?
No, I don't know.
Because
it sounds weird though the way.
Because simper definitely, I think, is siempre, right?
Siempre, yeah,
maybe.
But that's what they use it in. They use it in
the Marines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was, just, I don't know.
I think that there's a lot of and I mean, I know that we're 9 minutes out from getting Jamel on, but I think there are a lot of avenues that we got to cover. And, we just got to make sure that because here's the thing, I don't want to probe into like his medical history at all. Like that's his personal business, but I'm really curious as to find out like what the protocols were, the minute they caught it, how did they have a timeline that he had to, be tested negative in, and then did he have to wait again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause they have like a lot of different protocols for different things. Like my library, if I want to take my books back, they make you wait a minimum of 3 days before they even put those books back into circulation. So like I can't check in, check out, you know what I mean? I mean, that's books aren't a human being, but I'm just saying like baseball saying things, basketball saying things, everybody's saying like, okay, you got to be clean for 2-3 weeks, or okay, you can't test negative for like 4 in a row or something like that. So like, I'm just curious as to what the protocols were and all that.
I think the time is 2 weeks, but remember I told you
That's what I read.
If you wanted that, you should have booked Bruce Trample. I told you that they said that that's who's handling like the bubble and all the.
No, definitely. But I'm just curious from his standpoint, because it's like they're handling it. Okay, if like a fighter that they don't really care is on or not, that they're using for filler, and they've been plenty of those pops, do they like that? What's the plan? Is there even a plan? But a guy like Herring, who is, a banner star for them, it's like, do they go into crisis mode? Or are they kind of like, okay, well, let's play this out, because these guys aren't getting sick the way that other people are getting. I mean, you're talking about the top tier athletes in the world, like the most athletic 1%, and it seems like they're just getting the test and it's going away. Like, I mean, I don't want to, trivialize it or make it seem, like nothing, but my man's really didn't seem like he had a bunch of symptoms, but that's why it's going to be good to clear it all up with the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, he was over there at the Bomac camp, right? And I don't know, where did he take the camp to for this one? I mean, did he stay in Bomac's?
That's I saw IG picture, like I saw stuff that put him in the camp. Like that's why I'm curious. I mean, we were talking about whether or not Crawford, was exposed or who was exposed, and yeah, man. I'm also curious to find out if he got contacted by any tracers. I've been hearing a lot of really bad stuff about contact tracers and how they're really not doing their job. I also heard that their job's really hard to do right now because some people have politicized this so much. But I wonder if anybody got in contact with them, try to like narrow down how he could have came into contact. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Kind of backtrack, trace.
Yeah, because that's what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? That's what they're supposed to be doing. But it's really hard in certain places. Florida and Texas, impossible right now.
I mean, the fight's literally like, right around the corner. So I think that this do they isolate these fighters 2 weeks before the fight actually happens? Are they already in quarantine? You know what I mean? What exactly is the protocol from being in camp into fight? I never really knew any step or protocol. Like, do they quarantine them for 2 weeks and then they don't see anybody, they can't see anybody, and they go straight into the fight like that, so they avoid being with other people?
Well, remember,
like, what's the contact rule?
Well, remember, what's his name's trainer? Damn it, I'm forgetting who it was. He left his room.
Yes.
He left the bubble. He went down to the hotel, and supposedly all he did was walk around, but he was in the casino and he wasn't allowed back in. So it's not like they have him like quarantined the way that they're saying that the NBA is going to be quarantined and the way that the MLB is going to be quarantined. Like, they have the ability to leave and do what they want, but the rules are a certain way. But yes, exactly. That's what I want to get into as well, because we've heard a lot, and here's the thing: I don't know how much he can give. Like, I don't know how much they can talk about this, because I know that that UFC fighters have had to sign NDAs, and they can't really talk about the specifics of everything, and that's fine. I just want to make sure at the end of the day these guys are protected. I want to make sure that these guys, don't need us to start, yelling from the rooftops that they're not protecting these fighters enough, because I will definitely do it. I will definitely start prank calling everybody. No, I was playing.
Nah, it sucks for a fighter when you're preparing, you're ready, you're peaking at a certain day, and you got this schedule, and then all of a sudden something like this happens. It's got to be kind of deflating a little bit, and for things like this to repetitively happen. We have Mikhail Mayer with the same situation. She's bouncing back also back into the fight to see if everything goes okay this time, so it's like back tracing is very important to see where these things go wrong, because like I'm pretty sure the promoters lose money when these fights fall through.
Absolutely.
Yo, and remember, she didn't really test. It was like what was it, like a false positive, right?
No.
Like she didn't really have it.
No. She was a positive, just asymptomatic, right? Like.
Yeah, she is like.
Was it? Because I heard
she
that
showed
she took
no
another
symptoms.
test
she showed
the
no
next
symptoms.
day. I heard she took another test the next day and it was negative.
Mm.
And that's why she was upset, because of the retesting policy wasn't up to date, or you know what I mean? Like it wasn't where it was at. Like if they would have given her another test, supposedly she would have been able to fight. Like she wouldn't have. She wasn't really positive, or it was like a false positive or something. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers.
I thought
better
she
than I
had
do.
it, but she didn't show any symptoms. It was like, nowhere to be found, but like she was positive. I think that's asymptomatic, right?
Yeah, it could. It definitely could be, but
It feel sick. But Jamel did feel sick in his encounter with COVID. He felt fever, and he experienced some sickness. So
Really? I didn't know that.
I know I didn't hear that either.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, but remember, it's really hard for us to catch the interviews when we're doing the live fight chat. So
Yep.
I mean, I'll quote what he said on in an ESPN.
on the ESPN,
Yeah, ESPN article. It says, "I'm okay. I feel like my normal self again." Herring told ESPN Steve Kim on Tuesday. "I feel good. After I got past the whole fever, I felt good. I didn't even know I had it till I came down with the fever on Friday." And that was the article regarding to, that fight date that was canceled.
bro, his card is pretty dang good. July 14th on ESPN in Las Vegas, Jamel Herring fights Jonathan Oquendo in a 12-round bout for Herring's WBO junior lightweight title. And I love that it's for the title, because what we've seen lately is guys opting to not fight for the title and fight in a division above, and I don't have any problem with that. It's C19 season, so I understand that, but I love the fact that Jamel is staying ready. He's in shape, and he can make that weight, and he can defend his title, because it just makes it more exciting. But that's also the card with Michaela Mayer, like you said, and Helen Joseph, who from what I've heard is really good and should give Michaela some work. And then Clay Collard's back, who we definitely have become familiar with. As the A side,
he made the press release. He made the press release, and there's not even a fighter announced for him yet. So he's
supposedly fighting an LT Nelson. It's just announced.
Yes.
And you're right. He's the A side. This is a beautiful story.
Yes.
This is a very beautiful story. When did they?
Friday.
Oh, man,
we got him scheduled Friday. 9:30 a.m.
And
so we'll
Ruben Severa is also a really good fighter too. I've seen him a couple fights. Luis Melendez is on there, and I don't know who William Villa is, but that's a pretty good card considering everything. So is tomorrow's card, but yeah, man, it's gonna be definitely interesting to talk to him and to see where Herring's at, because man, he's just had so many fights come and go and so many dates. He was supposed to fight.
Keep an eye out for him. I added him, so he should.
I will definitely keep an eye. Who was he supposed to fight the first time? It was
There he goes.
There he goes.
Champ, what up?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, we're good, man. Happy to have you, man. How are you? How are you feeling?
Man, I'm glad to be back, like myself again, man.
We were just discussing your quotes on ESPN, so you did experience symptoms. You weren't like Michaela.
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't like Michaela and others. I started experiencing it like towards the end of it. You know what I mean? Like the cough and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, I thought I was just having the aches because that's part of the symptoms. Also, I thought I was having the aches from this hard work and training. So I wasn't paying it no mind. Like, I'm talking about like I was still out here sparring 40 minutes, 40 minutes of sparring and everything, man. But
that grind mentality.
Yeah, right, man. I thought I was just grinding because it's crazy because luckily when I had caught it, I had basically was finishing up my camp, so I sent my sparring partners home anyway because I did all the sparring, but then my nutritionist told me to go get checked out, and that's when I was like, damn. It was like, yeah, you tested positive, so I had to call up Top Rank and everybody and let them know.
Jamel, let me ask you. So when you caught it and you had to be quarantined for the 2 weeks, were you still able to stay with people who didn't have it, or did you have to isolate? Because did you not do anything for 2 weeks?
I definitely had to isolate, bro. Like it was crazy. Like, and it's crazy. I know you guys see me like I was still doing a little bit of workouts here and there, whatever. But I had to basically like go at like different times. Like they started at 10 o'clock, I had to, get mine in at 9. Then I had to, make sure everything was sanitized afterwards just to keep my lungs open because, I still wanted to stay in shape because I wanted to have a quick turnaround for my original fight day. But, yeah, I really didn't have any contact with anybody except for my nutritionist who was taking care of me.
So you don't think that's going to affect your performance, like going through 8 weeks, the week of fight week, finding out, then taking 2 full weeks off, or what exactly were you able to do during that 14 days?
Oh no, I was still working. Like I would go to my strength and conditioning because that's what basically keeps my stamina and conditioning up. So I would actually he would let me come to his gym. Like once I started feeling a little bit better, so I pretty much took maybe not even a full week to be honest with y'all. I was back at it, so like I said, I was running, I was running on the track, I was doing my road work. I was actually, and like I said, with my strength coach, so I was still, doing my strength conditioning, keeping the muscle on and building the stamina. The only thing I couldn't really do was, like sparring and pad works with the trainers. But like I said, when I had came down with the positive test, I was already done with sparring. And matter of fact, when I came back recently, I just got back in the ring anyway, and I did 12 rounds of sparring. I think Monday. Yeah, I just did 12 rounds of sparring on Monday just to see where I was at, and the team was happy. So we took all that into consideration. With the little break as you may say. But like I said, when I came back, I quickly just jumped back into it. As you guys seen, I kept my weight, I kept my weight down. I'm gonna show y'all right now. Like,
bro, you're looking shredded out.
I've been checking.
I was at 130. Listen, I was at 135.
Oh.
I was over. I stayed disciplined. You know what I mean? I was like that, yeah. And that was Monday after I had sparred. I weighed out 135, and my nutritionist. They always kept me with the plan. So when it's time to come, I'll easily drop down to the weight and still, and just beat me.
Was there ever a discussion about not bringing the weight up or trying to renegotiate the contract to not have the title on the line? I just say that because we've seen guys do that during these shows where they're fighting above their weight class and not defending the title. And I'm just wondering if that was a question or if that was ever something that was on the table.
That actually came after I had tested positive.
Makes sense.
It was never, with me, the crazy thing is with me, when Top Rank had called, as y'all seen, none of the other world champions was really, as you said, pointed out, they wasn't defending their title, they was fighting at weight classes above, like my boy, my bro, Shakur, he fought at a higher level than the featherweight limit. Miguel Burchell recently just fought at 135. Yep. But no, the thing was, Top Rank, they needed, in ESPN, they needed a world champion. They needed one of their world champions to showcase for this, this whole series. So,
of course,
when they called me, I was cool with it, even though we had so many regulations in terms of how, with the training, because most of the places are shut down. But when I had everything that I really needed here in Omaha anyway, so I wasn't really worried about the weight concerns and things like that. Even when I had tested positive for the COVID-19, my team was concerned if if I was wanted to like push it back a little bit more or make it a non-title fight. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that because like I really believe I have an obligation as a champion, so I'm gonna conduct myself as such. So that's why, like I said on Monday, when I really jumped back in it, as you seen the weight and everything, it was still coming down.
Champ, so you got a spot in Omaha, or does Bomac put you up, or I hear Terrence got like 30 homes. Does he lend you a spot?
Nah, we got a spot in Colorado where we actually do most of our training camps at. We have a house out there. But for here, Bomac and the team, we just got an Airbnb out here, so we have nice little space that everybody get in the background, can move around and things. Like in the beginning, we had Maurice Hooker. Matter of fact, he'll be back tomorrow to finish up his training. Robert Brandt's here with me. Like I said, my nutritionist is here with me. So she was making sure that I was staying hydrated because when I had that fever from the virus, of course, you sweat a lot. So that's what actually got me, got me through it without having any complications with my body because I was always, staying hydrated and drinking water every day. But yeah, like I said, we got a spot over here, man. We just, like I said, we make the most of it.
Did you lose any weight due to the virus?
I actually, for the most part, I was actually maintaining my weight where I was at. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't gaining weight, but I wasn't like losing weight like I would normally do. But I was, I was just balancing out, and I was just, just going with the flow.
We were talking about how bad it is, for a fighter to have a fight fall through for something like that, that you kind of have no real control over. And we were talking about how, the protocols, and we didn't know much on how, the lead up into the fight, how a fighter has to, what a fighter has to do in order to keep himself safe, in order for something like this not to happen. So what exactly is it that you're doing? Are you like in a quarantine right now, a week before you jump into that ring, champ? I mean, how do you avoid this?
I'm definitely in the quarantine for sure. Even now, man, I'm still taking all the right, precautions. Like it's no point. Like I see, man, I was right there at the finish line, and bam, I had to, call and put the bad news that I wasn't fighting. So yeah, even now, even with the team, we may have only a certain amount of individuals that's allowed in the team, but everyone had to get tested also. You know what I mean? And they had to come back with a negative test. And even then, we still take, the right, the right discipline.
Hey, look at Rob Brandt.
Man, Rob Brandt, he's just creeping along in the back. So yeah, man,
Yo, Jamel.
We like I said, we're trying to just keep it real about everyone's safe and healthy, man.
Let me slide one in there, Mario. I know you want to go. Did the whole house get tests when you popped? Did Bomac, did Red, Terrence? I mean, all the did everybody get tested, or was it a thing?
Man, everybody. Listen, like that was the thing, man. Like, cause but you've seen it. Y'all seen it over and over in the past month when they teams going out to Vegas. And at first it was, if one popped, the whole fight was off. Then it was, okay, if you pop, if just one popped, then they were just taking out the equation. So we made sure that everybody got tested, man, including Bud, man. And for the most part, everyone came negative. We actually had a couple of fighters, in like amateurs that they actually tested positive. So we had to, remove them for the time being for them to get better. But yeah, the trainers, man, they wasn't playing that, man. Like they seen it left and right that managers, trainers, and they was all getting removed.
Rightfully so. All right, so now this is what I want. I want the Avengers Infinity Wars, I want the, what do they call spoiler? Fight coming up. Jonathan Oquendo, listen, he's a fun fighter, and I'm actually looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fun to watch, but I also know that he's not on your level. You are a notch or two above him, in all honesty. That said, though, I could see it different ways. Like I could see you going in there wanting to get rounds, not wanting to test it, making sure that, the virus hasn't done things to the lungs but at the same time, the lights are bright, and we've seen some guys come out there and make huge statements and benefit from them.
Listen, man,
Jared Anderson. We've seen some upset. Absolutely. So it's dangerous. Dangerous. Yeah. So you're going to get the rounds in. You're going to make sure you lock this one down.
Oh yeah, Red, that's crazy, man. Red actually said that to me on Monday. Like you said, I look good in sparring, but sparring is different from the fight. And you don't know, you never like. I have respect for Oquendo because sometimes you may get the laid back dude who sits back too long. But sometimes you might get that Oquendo who just be busy. You know what I mean? So got it. So it's like Red was basically breaking down to me like we don't want to go in there and trying to throw everything at him too early because he's like one of those experienced fighters where they pick up as the fight goes on. You know what I mean? Because I watched his last two fights. When he fought Lamont and Charles Huerta. So I take fights. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he's like I pointed out, he's good. He's always good for a fun fight. But like I said, I feel good because if I didn't, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I didn't feel like I was ready after the whole virus thing situation. The team was going. They would have opted to push it back probably another week. But I was like, nah, I wasn't. I tested myself. I just came back from strength and conditioning, just now pushing myself. And I'm like I said, I'm just ready to go and just fulfill my obligation as a champion.
Well, definitely don't take it lightly. Obviously, it's not the fight that fight fans probably wanted, but Oquendo is experienced. And, Johnny Gonzalez didn't take it lightly, and he lost to Oquendo, and Johnny turned around and knocked out Abner Mares to become a champion. Abner Mares took him a decision. A few people took him a decision. So he's been in there with some elite level fighters. So, you getting the win and or making the statement with a knockout only solidifies you. But I've been dying to ask you, what do you think your super fight is? Well, I've asked Shakur this, and he says in a few years that it'll be Gervonta Davis for him. What do you think? I think
right now, in terms of the landscape for now, obviously it'd be against Burchell because he's the best. I consider him the best. You know what I'm saying? He has the best resume in the division, and I always give him that respect. It's just been crazy trying to actually get that fight, which is why we went to the next thing was the Frampton situation. I couldn't even get. I can't even get a fight with Valdez. Valdez is actually my mandatory. If you guys look at it, he is my mandatory because he was WBO champion at featherweight before he moved up. But his team also they just wanted to go a different route, which is the Burchell route. And I give him all that respect. I think that would be a good fun fight to watch. But for me, man, like I just want to just keep pushing forward in the super fight. Even with my bro. I'm saying Jojo Diaz, because that's why I also took the fight with Oquendo, because if you really look at my last two, they both been Golden Boy fighters, Lamont Roach, now Jonathan Oquendo. So I have, and Robert Diaz just hit me up. We have a good relationship. So even if Golden Boy wants to make a unification on that end, I don't mind doing it. But like I said, and I also wanted to fight Leo Santa Cruz, but we all know he's tied up with the whole Tank Davis situation. So, but for the most part, man, I just want to fight one of the champions or one of these top contenders, man. Even like I say, even December 19th, Bob Woody he announced that he's trying to lock in Wilder Fury 3. So if they want, they can even bring on somebody like Abner Mares and make it a top ranked PBC thing. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like y'all know me, man. Like I'm humble. Y'all seen where I came from, man. I had some setbacks, but now I just want to, continue to push forward and just, make the best and, add real names to my resume that will stand out.
Speaking of real names,
wow.
Speaking of real names, I wanted to offer this name. I kind of offered it to Shakur and others, Tevin Farmer. We had JoJo. I talked to JoJo about it. It's like a name that no one mentions, but I'm talking Gary Russell Jr. Obviously, he's a division below you, WBC champion at 126, but he's been training. He says he's holding his weight at 138. He's looking for fights at 35. Obviously, he's called out guys like Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney.
Man, he called them all out, man. Ryan Garcia. I
exactly.
Respect it.
So, and that's the reason that I'm saying, do you think that maybe you can entice him to only come up one division? Do you see that as a super fight? Is that something that you like for you?
Listen, man, that's definitely a super fight because Gary, like I said, I've been watching not just Gary, but the whole Russell clan for years, like, when one of his brothers was actually in Olympic trials with me when I was fighting in 2012 Olympic trials. But yeah, definitely, Gary Russell would definitely be a super fight because much love and respect to him, man. Like regardless of what people may say about the activity, the dude is cold, man. The dude could fight. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And from what I see, like when he called everyone out, he seems like he's still hungry and he wants those big fights. So yeah, definitely, man. You can't I can't look over anybody, even the guys at the lower weight like you just mentioned, like with Gary, because he's already looking to skip weight. You know what I mean? But of course, yeah, you gotta take all those fights into consideration because I'm all about just making the best fights out there and because we like you pointed out. We know the Oquendo fight, wasn't the fight that we all wanted. Like, I was even upset because I was looking forward to even, taking the chance of going to Belfast and doing what I had to do over there. But
yeah, because I know you wanted Frampton, right? That's who you wanted.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, I would have fought Frampton last June. Yeah, I would have fought Frampton on June 13th. That was our original date, but things happen. But yeah, for sure, I definitely look at all those guys that everybody that you guys mentioned, man. Because like I said, boxing landscape always changes. Like you get guys coming in and out, up and down the weight. So we'll see.
I mean, he seems to be kind of like a free agent from what he likes to say in the media. But they seem to be pushing Albert Bell your way. What do you think about Bell? And do you think that you should be having to fight Bell right now? Or do you need a bigger name? Or is it, you just got bigger fish to fry?
Yeah, I mean, I like Albert, man. Albert's a cool dude. And there's nothing against Albert. But it's like you pointed out, like, I just mentioned the whole list of guys on just a whole different level. And, I respect Albert. He's doing what he has to do as a contender. You know what I mean? I thought he looked pretty good when he his last fight. He did what he had to do. We all agree. We felt that he could probably stop the kid dude or push it a little bit more in that fight. But like I said, I'm not really like looking at that because I'm actually trying to look at the guys that people actually say may have a better resume in the boxing world than I have. So I'm looking at those guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, the bigger names and the fights where people actually say, this fight could go either way. It was a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? Things like that. I'm not saying that Bell's is a walkover or anything like that, but you want those fights where, when people may have something like, whoa, man, this might be a big risk for this guy, or this is a real good fight that people really want to see.
You know how I would put it? This is how I would put it, okay? And it's no disrespect to Shakur or Albert Bell or the Devin Haney's or anybody in the world, but you are from the class of the Abner Matez's and the Gary Russells and those names. Like, you deserve to be in those conversations because that's how long you've been putting it down. I think Shakur's got an amazing ceiling. I think that Albert Bell's got a really good ceiling, but you have solidified yourself as an elite fighter, and you need to be in the mention with guys that are elite fighters and have been doing it as long as you.
Right.
I think that's a fair way to put it.
Like I said, I respect that. And like I said, with Shakur, like I said, he's young still. He has plenty of time, and he's pushing for greatness, and I love and respect that. Plus, on that end, we have basically like the same team. Like we have the nutritionist that took care of me is his nutritionist as well. So you know what I mean. We have that same circle, and of course, you always see him around Bud, and then he comes. We all even when the things are open in Colorado Springs, we all train together. But I'm definitely see great things for Shakur. I believe Albert Bell will get to where he wants to get to. Same goes for guys like Abraham Nova as well, who's been climbing the rankings. But yeah, for sure, I just want to get out. Yeah, I just want to get out there and just make those big fights that get people actually in front of the TV. You know what I mean?
That's definitely what I want for you as well.
Is Chris Colbert a fight that'll get people in front of the TV? He's number 10 on the ring, but you're number 3, and only Burchell and Diaz is in front of you.
My man, Lil B-Hop. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I never actually thought about that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, for the most part, when you look at I was, what it is for me, I always look at the politics first with the landscape, but especially with the titles. Because when I say I won, because I know he holds a belt, but we all know Leo holds the super title in the WBA. And I know it's him and Rene Alvarado, and then like that little B-Hop. So I never really looked at that fight, but I think that fight will be a good fight. The little B-Hop he's doing his thing. He's still growing. But like I said, man, we just want, like I said, those names that really stand out there. Bigger names than myself. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
No, and it would be fair to say that that's a huge opportunity for him, but it's not the same opportunity for you at all. So, and I don't think there's any disrespect in saying that.
I agree.
He's still developing. He's doing his thing, and like I said, he's young. He's he's in the same boat with, like, in my opinion, with like the Shakurs and the Ryan Garcias and Teofimos in that class, of those guys who have a high ceiling, and you know what I'm saying, they're only getting better with time.
True.
Definitely. Yeah, we could. Ness, did you want to go to Patreon, or did you have any more?
I do.
Okay.
I want to ask here about who else. There was someone else on my mind that could be a good fight. But you got the Patreon pulled up, so we don't waste time?
Yeah, I was pulling it up right now. Real quick, I just want to clarify this, and I don't want to like beat a dead horse or anything, because I mean you kind of did answer it. But Shakur, recently I saw quotes where he said, actually Ness is the one who brought it up, where he said something about you would be like the last option.
Yeah,
based
obviously
off
because of
your
the
friendship and stuff like that. Right. Do you feel the same? Like, is it an option? It's just not the option right now. Or do you think that y'all are close enough that it might never happen?
I think it's like the last two you mentioned, that this is like a not an option that happen, and we just have too much of a close circle. Cause like, think about it. If we would if they make that fight, but we literally train in the same facility when we're not in this whole pandemic. We hold our camps in Colorado Springs in the same, because it's not a lot of gyms, big gyms out there anyway, and there's only one that we use together. Mm-hmm. So it'd just be too much and be awkward. And then like Bud loves him like a little brother, you know what I'm saying? And then Bud, me and Bud are brothers. So it'd just be too much tension, and it just would just throw things off. So I respect it. Like you said, if it'd be it had to be the very, very last option, on the table, because he couldn't get a title shot. But I probably feel like even by then, because I have been looking at what's been going on in the higher weight classes as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of 135 is really growing, and looks great up there. But but I don't think there's just an option that I see happening.
Got you.
Jamal, we're going to be going to the Patreon questions. Some of the most knowledgeable listeners here at TBV. And the first one's from Rue504. Says, how was your experience dealing with COVID? I know that, you kind of touched up on it.
Yeah, anything that you felt you answered, we could just move on, and we'll just give that person a shout out, though, obviously, and read his question. But you kind of let us know everything you went through with COVID. But if you feel there's anything you left out, definitely feel free.
What about dreams? They say that you have crazy dreams.
For the most part, just the 2 days in between when you have the fever and the chills. But even when I had the little fever or whatever, I was I didn't know I was burning up, because I'm so well hydrated that I thought I actually had the 24-hour bug, and then the cough and everything came literally last. But I wasn't having issues close to bronchitis and pneumonia with my breathing, so thank God for that.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Yeah, that's the scary part. I didn't have the issues of the whole smell and taste. That's why I thought I didn't have anything, because I could still smell and taste everything that I was eating. But yeah, for the most part, I just had the body ache, the fever, the chills, and the cough.
All right, so the next one's coming from Sway. Says, what's good, champ? Hope the recovery's going well. Which big matchup are you looking forward to most post-COVID-19 when the money is back?
Oh, when the money is back, obviously, of course, like I said, the one, if I'm realistic, because everyone else is with the guys like Valdez and Berchelt, they're both tied up with each other pretty much. Yeah. It'll have to be the Frampton fight, of course. And that's available. That's the easiest fight to make, especially when he brings the whole country. And like I said, I want to pitch the idea of even having it on Fury Wilder 3, because they're going to need to build that card up. I mean, and that's just the
Definitely.
business of it. So you got to look at it. There will be money on the table.
Definitely.
All right, the next one's coming from Sony Woods. Says, salute, champ, and thank you for their service to the tradition of African Americans who have shown through history that our blood, sweat, and tears are in the same vein as the rest of the world. I have family who are currently active in the military and, like you, have returned home safely. I wish the same for my cousin. My question, champ, is being in the times of protest and social unrest, do you feel like an ambassador of some sort? Having your military background, a lot of sports athletes are choosing to step aside their sports career for social justice. On the other hand, there are sports athletes who feel like their careers can be a platform to show all races coming together and showing unity for a common cause. Do you have thoughts on current sports climate?
Like I said, I respect it. It's crazy. This is because I spoke about this a few weeks ago. Because it's funny now. It's like, when the things wasn't as bad as they are now with the whole protest and the rioting at times, there was, the media was trying to tell, like saying fighters, athletes to shut up and dribble. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we were trying to, take the peaceful protesting, and everything. But it's like now when things get wild, they now wish they can go back to LeBron and them just speaking from the court or whatever, because now, when it's gotten ugly, it's gotten ugly. But yeah, I definitely I feel like I'm an ambassador because I have a platform. I'm always being watched, and I'm glad he asked that because I have that thing where I had that military background, so people just think that I'm just accepting everything that's going into America. Like no, because at the end of the day, when someone looks at me, they don't look at the first thing they're gonna look at is the complexion of your skin. They're not going to just see. Like, they're not gonna know at the back. He was a Marine, so he gets a pass. They don't know that unless they know you personally or you tell them. So, but by then in that split time, a lot of things can happen. So, I'm definitely for the movement that's going on. If it leads to the right justice. I'm not saying that we got to get ugly and violent, but due to people being frustrated, it's led to that at times, and people need to understand that. They try to do everything, the right way from just, peaceful marching and, voicing their opinion. But it's like when people started seeing that they couldn't get their point across from that, it got ugly. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to promote any like violence and things like that. But, I'm all for people, voicing their opinions and going for their beliefs.
He ended that with a hashtag, the champ is here.
Appreciate it.
All right. The next one's coming from Brandon Maurice. What's your favorite restaurant to hit up in Cincinnati, champ?
I gotta say Papa Do's. Gotta go to Papa Do's, man. Get some seafood and stuff like that, man. But definitely, man. Like you already see, man. He messing me up. I'm trying to stay disciplined to keep the weight. You know what I mean? You already got me thinking about what I need to eat when I get back. Man. But yeah, man, that's my thing. Because I like I'm all about family. I miss my family, crazy. Like Ned pointed out, man. I don't been here look at like a 10-week training camp. You know what I mean? So I don't miss a lot of time with the family. But definitely when I go back home, I'm taking the family. Well, if it's safe enough, because we still are in the pandemic. But if it's safe enough, I'll take them out to go eat and just spend the night, enjoy the night.
Nice. Papados. That's how you say it?
Yeah, Papados.
Yeah, Papa. Yeah.
Got one in Houston.
Mario, no.
There I go, man.
Yo, so the next one's coming from James Benitez. Says, who is Andy Vences? In parentheses, boxing scene. He says your next fight was pretty much a gimme fight and you're going to have to step up. But aren't you the big dog in the division? How the heck do you need to step up? Is Andy Vences even on your radar? And can you tell me who is this guy? I have no clue. Salute. Much respect and stay great.
It's crazy. He probably didn't watch the fight from last night. I was seeing it was an upset for Vences. But, being the guy that I am, I reached out to him on Twitter. I told him to keep his head up. I don't take it personal. I don't get the big head of looking at myself as the big dog in the pond because, like I said, I told you guys honestly earlier, I feel like Bachel is the big name on campus. His resume, he's defended his title far more than I have, of course. But I look at it like this: when these fighters do that, they're doing it what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be calling y'all. I mean, y'all seen me, man, before I won a title, what was I doing? I was calling for the Ito fight. You know what I mean? So it's boxing. It's a sport. That's how I look at it. It's a sport. So I can't take it personal. But, you know what I mean? Like I said, hopefully Andy, gets his rest, and jumps back. But I look at it, like I said, I trust and believe. I see and hear everything, and I don't look over anybody. I don't take anything lightly because some of these contenders some of these guys are once from contenders to champions.
Bruh, he had a great jab, but he was getting hit with so many right hands yesterday. It was crazy. I could not believe it.
I think if you look, I think he broke his jaw. I don't, because it was kind of, if you look at the pictures, it was
a little open.
He couldn't open his mouth. You know what I mean? So it was crazy, man. Like he just needs more head movement because, like he pointed out, he was getting hit with even with that crazy jab, the dude's hitting him with just everything straight. So like, crazy. I think he just needs to definitely get some work with his corner, with the team.
His hands was too low anyway, right? Like, you don't think his hands was too low even after he threw the jab? His right was so low. Yeah.
What about the conversation, real quick, what about the conversation that it sparked afterwards? I don't know if you got to hear it or not, but after their fight, they were at the main event and they had video of him in the back. He was laying down, getting sutured up. They had announced that he wasn't going to be taken to the hospital. And Bradley came on and said, look at where he's at. Nobody around him, no media, no fans. You saw that, right? And he said, that's why people say, oh, fight this way, fight that way, fight exciting. But then there's nobody there at the end to do it. What did you think of that conversation?
Listen, man, that hit home. And I'll be honest with you. Y'all seen my career. I was like that after the Shakur fight. Real talk. That's just being honest. I was back there by myself with just literally just my mother and my wife at the time. My wife was with me, you know what I'm saying? And
hold up. Wife at the time? You went through a divorce?
No, I mean, I'm not.
Because I see your YouTube channel.
I don't want no problems when I get back and phone at the house. But no, I mean, at that time, Jen, I apologize. You know what I mean?
Hey, what happened?
Still running good. But no, I was just back there. It was literally everybody left. I remember it was so bad with that fight. I missed my flight because I had to. They wanted to make sure that I was good to go. I'm be honest with you. I mean, I went through hell in that fight. I had a hole in my lip. You know what I'm saying? I had to get that stitched up, and then in recovery, I didn't know at the time because this is like a first time. Obviously the first time thing. I had a concussion. I couldn't even walk up. I couldn't even get my rhythm to walk up steps because my mind and my body wasn't functional on the same, on the same course.
Say what?
I was doing all that by myself. So like I said, man, like when the TV's cut off, man, it's just you and the people that are really with you, and that's why I had to look at life a lot different. Like you know what I mean? Get all those entourages and what people were trying to say, man. In the end, it's just you in that ring. So when Bradley said that hit home.
Did that make you?
He said it. It really helped me as a journalist and a person who covers the sport. And I've always said, I admire Omar Figueroa, or I admire these guys. But I never really thought about it like that. Like, you got to do what's right for you because, they say all that stuff before the fight, but after the fight, they're not there. You know what I mean? Like, what's that praise worth when you have to spend that 24, 48 hours basically being poked and prodded with nobody around? So it was definitely an eye-opener for me.
Yeah, definitely. I seen the clip, and I was like, man, I've been there. Like, I know how that feels. And when Bradley's words, when he was saying, I was like, yeah, he ain't lying. Cause I'm pretty sure he's been there with that.
Yes.
The Pacquiao fight. You know what I'm saying?
And the Pacquiao fight.
Yeah, man, like I said, when it's over, it's over. Even for your career, when it's over, it's over. All that, this guy and that guy, being around you, man, them guys gonna start disappearing one by one. Especially when you take a loss. People start writing you up, including the people that you thought were close to you.
That's the reality.
Did that make you contemplate continuing to fight, being as though that you, like you said, you couldn't even get your functions in order? It was hard to go up the steps. Did you think about like, man, I might be done?
Yeah, definitely, man. I thought I had to really take a step back from the whole just boxing period for a few months or so. And just get my thought process together. But I was like, But like I said, we are fighters, and you had that pride, and it was like, do you really want to leave the sport, being known for taking that beating? You know what I'm saying, the Shavakov, like that, or do you want to be that guy that they say that they came back after everything he's been through? And but I had to do it the right way. You know what I mean? I had to be smart about my approach and know how I came back. But yeah, definitely, man, you gotta. Cause I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? I love one of my favorite fighters is James Toney, man. James Toney been in wars, but I watch his fights all the time and I watch his interviews. Go look back at James Toney from 1990 and how he was speaking to James Toney in 2020, and it's like, yo, this boxing, this game is serious, man. It's like we enjoy as fans with these wars and everything, but man, who was it now? Israel Vasquez, man.
I know.
He's having can't see, like, man, like it's crazy. Been like, I've heard stories of people, the team, the people around him at the time stealing money from him and everything. He's like, he can't even really keep up with what I'm saying, with his gym that he's running. So, like I said, man, stuff like that, it's not even just like from the injuries and the people around you. You definitely have to, you definitely have to be mindful of what's going on.
Where are we, Alex, with the questions? I wanted to slide one in. You're muted,
That
Champ.
was James Benitez was the last one.
We're at Steve, SG Pass. Yeah.
So, Champ, where do you think you'll like, I guess, not retire, but like your last home?
I think my last home will be my return to, like, if I'm being honest, like 135.
No. I physically mean home. Like, where would you?
Home?
Yeah, like where would you go back to? Like when boxing is done, and like where are you?
I think I stay in Cincinnati. And the only reason why I would stay there is because I have two autistic daughters, and Cincinnati has, I think, like number 3 in terms of like services for autistic children. Oh, wow. So like I said, of course I would love to move back, East Coast, like New York or something like that, but I got to, I'm a father, I'm a father. I have to, look out for the ones, that I'm raising. So that is the other thing, and that's where I'm just like, yo, if I got to stay in Cincinnati for my daughters, I'm gonna do that. But that's what, I definitely gonna call Cincinnati home when it's all said and done.
Isn't Florida highly rated for autism as well in terms of the hospitals?
Yeah, they are because trust me, Jen, she's been doing her research and all that, because I actually was planning on moving to Florida, but Cincinnati still even has Florida beat. So and like I said, my daughter, she's 3. She wasn't speaking, for the longest. She was born prematurely. She was born real early. I think like 7 months, and incubator and all that I had to go through, and I had to watch her, basically I couldn't even hold her from the time she was born. I had to watch her 2 months in the incubator, pretty much, and fight for her life. And now but from the services that's in Cincinnati, now she's starting to starting to learn how to talk. She knows her colors. So like I said, I'm hopeful, and she's getting strong every day. But that's the reason why I would decide only to stay in Cincinnati, because why leave, and my kids are getting treated the proper way that they need to be serviced, and they're getting better.
Champ,
absolutely.
Because you were in the service, you're covered, right? And your children in terms of the medical for them, because my friend, really good friend, just moved to Florida because of his children, and right. He's in the service as well. And he tells me that obviously the military helps him out a lot, and that's why he hasn't gotten out. Like, but he's he's on a desk at this point. He's on a desk now.
The way that works. It's basically the like when you in the service long enough, because the way you point out, he's probably been in it for a while. You know what I mean? So when you retire, your family benefits, and plus it goes on basically how much percentage of your disability you get from the military. So if you get like a high enough, like I think anything over like 50%, 60, 70% disability, that actually can help cover not only your children with the medical situation, but like their schooling after a while as well. But for me, I don't have a high disability, you know what I mean, for that. But that's why I'm just over here, grinding now. But I'm being smart enough to start putting my money in like investments, and that's why you guys always see me over here, even trying to stay in boxing in another way by like, molding fighters and push, and putting them on the right path, things like that. But yeah, definitely.
Champ, first investment is a house in Colorado,
A house.
and you do the B&B out there. But what's next? What's next?
Steve,
Alex?
we got Steve, champ. He says, "Salute, champ, and thanks for coming on the show. Also for serving our country. Would you like a unification fight in the future, and if so, against who?"
Man, like I think we spoke on that earlier.
Man, he said Joseph Diaz.
I'm at the point. Let's say I'm gonna say like quick and easy like this. I'm at the point where I don't mind doing a unification matchup with any of the world champions in the super featherweight division, just like that. I'm not gonna be picky because as y'all see, even with guys in the same promotional banner as me, I can't even get to fight. So if another champion wants to unify, I'm open for business.
All right, Big Casual steps up, says, "What's up, champ? Good luck on your fight next Tuesday. Out of all the champions in your division, which one of them do you believe would be your toughest fight?"
Oh, Miguel Petrello, easily. Miguel Petrello. I don't care what anybody says. That dude, that boy has dynamite in both hands. Yeah. Like, if anything, where I see that fight playing out, I'm not gonna sit there and bang with him. And I think that's the reason why, and there's no knock on him. I think that's the reason why his team is always wanting to go a different direction, because Miguel Berchelt makes fun for fights where, guys have that war on the inside, things like that. I'm not going to be sitting there with you trying to bang it out for 12 rounds. It wouldn't even matter if it even lasts 12 rounds, you know what I mean? So I think they don't want to really deal with boxers, let alone a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? That's a boxer and a mover. So I think it just comes down. And we like to, we all know the game, man. We're not stupid. Like in the boxing business, it all comes down to what people appeals and looks good at times as well.
True. George Foster says, "Are you still interested in going to the UK and fighting Carl Frampton?"
The truth is, the Mexican fighter never wants to fight the black fighter. In boxing, historically, the black fighter has to shame the Mexican fighter into fighting. It's just that's the way it goes, Jamal got to wait for Canelo. Floyd had to shame Oscar. It goes back,
Yeah, that's some real. Yeah, that's.
What about wasn't it Pernell and Chavez or Randall Chavez. And Chavez, like you have to like that's just the way it goes. I mean, obviously you with the same promoter and you still can't get it, so
exactly.
You really got
and
to.
And see that's my problem with this is that I understand that it's like if you're across the street and stuff, but the fact that Miguel's I don't want to say this and everybody hold me to it, but if he leaves the division without fighting.
It's Andrade all over again, Andrade's with Matchroom and can't get Gennady. He can't get Canelo. Man, he can't get Billy Joe. Poor Andrade.
And I look at also. I think that 135, that fight at 135 he had recently was a sign that he plans on leaving the division real soon anyway as well. So that's why you guys know that I've been really stressing it. I can't really I've done all I can, because if we do the timeline, he actually called me out when I won the title. You know what I mean? So Tyrank had me actually believing that was next. So I was preparing.
I thought that was yes.
That
as a fan, I thought it was next.
Yeah, and then when you look at the fact that we both fought in November, you guys noticed that he fought a week before I fought when he fought Jason Sosa. That was supposed to be the time frame we were supposed to fight each other, but it was like you can't fool the people but so long. But we actually supposed to make that fight twice, and it never happened, because after we took care of business in November, and that's when the whole the Valdez talk started happening, and that's the only reason why I had to look at for the Frampton fight. And to answer the question about going to the UK, I'm like, look, man, I think I put up enough time trying to because I didn't want to wait all the way up to June or whatever. I had to wait because Carl had to get his hands repaired and the surgery and things like that with his hand situation. Like, I don't mind going to the UK if it's smart business, but like right now I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just like, if they can make the fight in December in Vegas, on Fury Wilder 3 or whatever, then that's fine with me.
Before the interjection.
Frampton's with MTK too, so that's doable. He's with MTK Global, and so is Fury.
Right.
Yeah, the question was if you wanted to do the fight in Belfast once live audiences became available again.
Hey, if like I said, the circumstances is right, I'm not worried about it. I'm cool with anything, you know what I mean? Like I said, with this game, too many fights to get, you know what I'm saying, get tossed to the side or not made because one side is too picky or whatever. But if everything's, you know what I'm saying, cool on the table, I don't care.
The next one's from Ryan O'Rourke. Says, do you think your experience in the military helps with your training camps, sticking to tough schedule and staying motivated even when uncertain when and who the future fights happen with?
Yeah, definitely that whole military aspect does play a big part. Because like I said, even now, I always look at, truth be told, telling you guys, I tell myself every day that Shakur fight is probably my toughest fight of my career. And if I feel like if I've been through all of that, even with the Ito fight and everything like that, I wasn't really, I was taking it seriously and I was focused, of course, but I wasn't really thinking of it as like a tough threat and a push like how I was with the Shakur situation. So that all plays mentally, you know what I mean? So I definitely believe that came from, my military aspect. But I mean, like I said, I just want to just keep continuing to push myself because as a Marine, that's what we're also all we know. Just continue, to better ourselves to keep pushing.
Hoorah!
Right.
King Amin of Essex says, peace, champ. I want to publicly apologize to you for going on social media and insinuating that you had anything to do with the situations between either Mayer or Futch's test results. But my handshake emoji. But my question is, what does Jamel Herring want to have accomplished by the time you're ready to hang up the gloves?
It's crazy, because so much goes on with boxing where we can't get the matches we want. You like, I'm not stupid. Like, we can cancel out all that whole undisputed talk. You know what I mean? My accomplishment was at least to get a unification and at least become the lineal champion of the division that I'm in. And that would easily that would have been easily been done with a fight with Chuck. That's why I kept pushing for it. Because there's too many. We all know there's too many damn belts out here. And everyone's saying they champion, but then at the end of the day, like, who is, the real champion? And that's also my thing. But if I can't get that before it's all said and done, at least I would try to shoot for being a 2-divisional champion and go from there.
Okay, then that's what's coming from Stonebone Boxing. Says, peace, champ. Being from Omaha and also visiting Cincinnati a few times, the two cities are very similar. How easy was it to get comfortable with Omaha and Red and Bomac?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's crazy. Downtown Omaha looks exactly like them damn downtown Cincinnati. So it's definitely a lot of similarities. But Red. I've known Red for longer than I've known Bo and the rest of them, to be honest. But so it was definitely easy to click. With Bomac, as you know, with him, he has like that chip on his shoulder because we all know if you say Omaha, you're not thinking boxing. So of course, when you look at him as a trainer from Omaha, people, he has to do. You feel like he has to do, twice as more than the next man in terms of getting his respect because, like I said, Omaha was never known as a city for boxing to begin with, or many other sports. But definitely, for the most part, Bomac and Red and Saul, they're really easy to work with. Like I said, people, because when I first started watching Bud fight on HBO and things like that back in the day. I used to always say, like, man, how does he do it with 3 trainers in the corner? But, like, when I got around them, it actually, they have different styles, but it actually comes together and actually clicks really easily and well. So, and thank God, even, like, right now for the pandemic situation, say, like, if I lose one trainer, I can at least fall back on 2 that I can trust in the corner. You know what I mean? So it does wonders.
I was just about to say that I would love to be trained by 3 people rather than one because, you always in a situation where – that trainer has a fighter that's bigger than you or is just busy with someone smaller than you. He could be doing pad work. Now you got to be on the bag. And
I'm glad you said that because that's how it was in the situation with Adrian Broner, Mike Stafford. We would have, like, when you have, like, say, like, you got 2 fighters and they got fights around the same time, it's hard for that trainer at times to try to divide that, attention and time. And it takes away from the other at times. Because like I said, at that time, AB was AB, of course. But like, and I I'm not like on AB level. So, I wasn't getting all the attention that I felt that I needed. And that's why, I had to go a different direction.
Nah, and it's the right thing because it's like, a head trainer, he'll tell you, all right, Jamel, go hit the bag, you know what I mean? And now he's working with someone else, but he's not seeing if not bringing your left hand back up, or
Right.
are you clowning on the bag? Are you just taking the rest? Or are you pity patting? I've been in so many gyms. I've literally seen people hide behind the bag. Like I'm trying, I'm here to record you, and my man, like as I move, he move, so that I don't see the velocity of the punches. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it's so crazy. I ain't gonna say who it was, but you guys would be shocked. Like, oh, it makes sense. But yeah, man, I would assume that having 3 people there is just better for the fighter.
Yeah.
Better for the fighter.
Sure.
All
right. The next one's coming from Boston's Jared. It says, who would you pick in fights at 160 between Andrade versus Canelo and Andrade versus Charlo, and why?
That's his favorite question.
Yeah, he loves that question.
I mean, of course, with the with the Demetrius against and Charlo, I probably have to lean towards Demetrius in that fight because of I just feel like he has more of a pedigree, and like Jamal is a real good fighter, and but Jamal hasn't. Well, they both in the same boat. They haven't really got that test yet either in their weight classes because of all the politics, like that Paul was pointing out, man. Like politics, and at a time when you don't fight the right fights, you don't really elevate the game. But like either one of them guys with Canelo, you have to obviously go with Canelo because, like I said, regardless of what people may say about, Canelo picking and choosing whoever he fights, he still seems like he brings a new aspect to each fight. And it's like, it's really hard to really pick against him. But like Ness pointed out, though, at the same time, though, man, that with the black fighters and the Mexican fighters, sometimes, that style can frustrate because, like I said, Danny Jacobs and Canelo, people felt that, saying that was a real close fight and it could have went, at times either way and so on.
What?
But, like
you thought that, champ? I ain't think that. I thought. Whoa.
I said some people thought. Some people thought like
Canelo,
that. I thought Canelo won it for sure, but some people felt that they could have gave Danny more rounds than what they would have given.
I didn't know if I was watching Canelo Jacobs or Neo in the Matrix, bruh.
That's what I'm saying. But he always gets better. I feel like at one point Canelo was known for just all offense. At one point, but it seemed like as he's gotten them higher weight classes, his defense, like you pointed out, his defense definitely got more sharp on his reflexes and the way he could take a shot and come right back hard. So yeah, it's hard to really go against Canelo. I feel like he's gotten better over the years.
All right.
Absolutely, brother. Next one's from Israel Weber.
You have enough time, champ? I know it's been a lot right now.
Yeah, true.
Because I know you had a tight schedule. You said Top Rank got you busy.
Oh yeah. I got a while. I'm keeping track of the time.
Okay.
Champ. Israel Weber says, "What's up, champ? Always good to have you on TBV. Disappointed you're not headed across the pond, which you were eager to do, but glad to see you're back on the schedule. When next in Oklahoma, lunch on me. #squid."
Hey, long as they got. Oh yeah, he's Navy. He's there. That's Navy right there. Squid is Navy. But I heard they got some good barbecue in Oklahoma, so I'm gonna hold them to that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be you. It's gonna be you and a bunch of people because he's staying inviting everybody to lunch. So.
Every guest, he's invited every guest. So I mean, he's got an Amex black card for sure. Nah, but he's a good guy. He actually, when the pandemic started, I couldn't get to Walmart. The lines were crazy. And I complained on an episode, obviously it's a podcast. So I got off topic and I'm like, damn, I missed my Raisin Bran. Next thing you know, he sent me 3 of the big bags of Raisin Bran.
Hey, that's love.
Heck yeah, man. So shout out to Izzy. The next one's from Carlito Dumi.
Carlitos K84 says,
UK.
What's good? Say that again?
He's from the UK.
Oh, okay. Carlitos UK84 says, "What's good, Jamel? Firstly, I got to big you up for being active on social media and interacting with the fans. In your honest opinion, who hits harder, your stablemate, Fury, or AJ?"
Shit. How would I know? Hey, I ain't about to find out.
How'd he say? But how'd he say you're stable, mate? What?
Hey, what happened?
I thought he was gonna go to a bud, or you know, with that one. If y'all, I think he's going with that.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
His team might have been spiked. His team might have been spiked over there in the UK. Anthony Von Lewis is up next.
Anthony M. Von Lewis says, how long is the post-recovery after recovering from COVID, and are there dietary changes?
Everyone, it's crazy. They say everybody's different. You know, sometimes guys recover or feel no symptoms at all and just go like Michaela's situation. But I've heard, speaking to my nutritionist, some people probably still feel the symptoms for like 30 to 60 days still after they tested negative. Because you still have those lingering effects and things like that on your body. But for me, for right now,
lethargic at all, champ?
What's that?
Did you feel a little bit lethargic after you got out the hospital?
No, you know what? I forgot to mention to y'all. I was feeling the fatigue factor. That fatigue really had got me to be like, man, I don't know if I'm just working too damn hard or what. But that fatigue factor definitely will hit you the hardest, in my opinion, if you don't get hit with the pneumonia and stuff like that, of course. But yeah, for me, even when I tested negative, I was still having like little effects. Like I was still coughing up like mucus and things like that still, but. Everyone's different. It depends how you think your health, like I said, your health history, and how you take care of yourself.
All right. Next one's coming from Ohio Runs Boxing. Marcus, in parentheses, Ohio Runs Boxing. What's good, Jamel? Please let them know Ohio Runs Boxing. Smiling emoji.
Hey, man, you know it's crazy.
I appreciate it.
They adopted me over there, so I want to show love to Cincinnati in the game. That's why when the whole belt situation came up, I didn't take it personal because like Toledo was like a 3-hour drive. I literally go up there to go visit Robert Easton Jr. and McCree guys. So I didn't, what I mean. It is what it is, and I have people out there in Cleveland. Shout out to Raynell Williams, man. Raynell is a good dude as well, but definitely got love for Ohio. Terrell, my teammates, Rasheed Warren. Terrell Garsha. Also, yeah, Ohio definitely does have a lot of talent. Them guys, I just wish, a lot of them guys though on the PBC side. So I wish, they get back on that busy track.
He said it, and I appreciate you bringing a lot of talent from Cincinnati down there with Coach Bomack. Let them know about a few good prospects from Cincinnati.
Of course, Desmond Drummond. He's a good talent. They have a lot of good. My man Bubakar Silla, he's out here. He's always a bud. If you look at him, he's always a bud now. He fights at 140. So Bubakar is doing his thing. My man Jig, he helped me. He was actually one of my sparring partners, so he helped me get ready. And that's just Cincinnati alone. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys up north in Ohio as well. But yeah, there's a lot of talent that I actually personally know. Just being in the boxing world and in Ohio.
Okay, I think this is the last one. It's from Duke the Great. What up, Jamel? Good luck in your upcoming fight. Who do you think is the next young boy in the BNB gym that should make some noise in the near future? Also, what are your thoughts on marijuana use to help brain trauma in the sport of boxing? Should it be allowed?
Well, on the marijuana, like I said, I never smoke, but if the if weed, the marijuana, whatever help, anyone, that's suffering through anything, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? If it ain't gonna kill you or give you that extra boost in the sport, like with the whole PED situation that we're going through all the time. I'm all for it. But in terms of there's a lot of guys that a lot of talent in the BNB boxing gym that's actually coming up. I got my guy Carlito, little young kid. He was we were sparring all the day, matter of fact, little young kid. Just just excited just to get in there with just pros and of course show them some love and teach them some things. But that's actually to me to tell you a lot because a lot of the guys we don't really see, but that gym stays packed because Bud and Bo is free. They keep it free to anybody that wants to just come in there and train. So, of course, you're going to draw a lot of attention and talent that's going to, eventually develop over time. So, But like, give it another couple of years, and you'll probably start seeing a lot more fighters from B&B. But I feel like also in the pro level right now, Kevin Ventura is definitely a guy that's very talented.
Last one slid in from Atlanta. Intrigued the Incredible says, what up, Jamel? How do you see the fight if Bud ever fought Jerron Boots Ennis? Do you think it would be a close fight?
I think it'd definitely be a good fight. It all depends on where Boots is at the time, if that fight was ever made. You know what I mean? Because, Boots is still in the development stages, as you may say. But Boots is really good. I actually went to his last fight, out in Atlantic City. And he's hungry and he wants more. But I think if it's marinated and built up right, it'll definitely be a good fight.
That was the final one. Jamel, thank you so much for joining us. Especially because you're getting ready for this fight. We just want to wish you good luck. You're definitely fam here at TBV, and we're definitely waiting for that card. To me, that's a card that I feel like isn't even on the level. Like it's a card that we could have seen in regular times. You know what I'm saying? It's like a really good card.
Right.
So
what I want to say about that card too? I think people really need to tune into the Michaela fight with Helen Joseph.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, we've been hearing about that.
I feel like that fight steals the show, man. Because I think for me, I'm not looking over anybody, but I really, plan on just putting on a real boxing display.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially, and just going back to being slick and things like that. But I think in terms of if you want to watch like a war, I think that Michaela and Helen Joseph is going to be a war because I watched some of Helen's fight and she comes, she brings it. She brings it. And I actually believe that since the fight got pushed back because of Michaela's whole situation with COVID, I think Helen had, that gave Helen more time to get back in the ring, in the gym, and train her more.
Oh,
so, you can give a fighter the proper enough time to train, they're gonna bring their A game.
Damn, I'm thinking about putting some money on her. They were saying before the fight was was pushed back, we had people in the chat, like our callers, saying, "Yo, don't sleep on Helen," and I'm not too familiar with her, but the money she was getting, oh man, I don't know what it looks like now. It's probably a lot closer, and we've been seeing that with these cards. Like the Joshua Franco, he was a huge underdog, and then by the night of the fight, he cut it in half.
Right.
So yeah, man, maybe I might take the parlay with Helen.
It's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be
definitely gonna be a great card. But yeah, man, if you want to give your social media real quick, and thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it like always.
Jamel,
like I said, man, I appreciate that.
When do you have to quarantine in the bubble, right? Because don't you got to get to the bubble, do another test, and then lock in?
See, I'm glad you're putting it out. In the beginning, they was making the athletes and the fighters come in, I think, like a week. That week or like at least a half a week. But I'm not leaving till Saturday. I'll fight Tuesday. But I'm not leaving. But even then, I'm not going straight into the bubble. I'm going into the bubble, I believe, Sunday night where that's, I get tested. Because they've been coming back. They come back fast with the whole test results now anyway. So I basically shut up a little bit, shut up the weight that I have to, take care of everything I have to, then go into the bubble, relax, take the test, whatever, and then weigh in on Monday. So, because I don't feel like really staying locked down on in a room for a long period of time. So I'd rather just go there and just take care of my business and get up out of there.
I feel you on that.
Mel, who do you got in the Jerry Forrest Tackham fight? You know anything about Forrest? Because he's from North Carolina.
I knew Jerry back from the amateur days. From Virginia. I've known Jerry for years. So I think that's a tough fight. That's still a tough fight, man. Like you said, man. I think you know what it is. I'm gonna tell you why. I know what it is. Why Top Rank started making these fights a lot tougher because I believe the ratings situation, of course, had a player issue with it, and you can't just put. They looked at it as even though they're probably the only ones that's big in boxing. You still can't just put anything on TV, so you gotta make these fights competitive as much as you possibly can.
Exactly. I didn't even we didn't even cover last night's. Like normally, if Top Rank has a fight card, we're watching it live with our audience. Like I watched it from my bed because it was like Vince's ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? He's just not there yet. And Zepera's definitely not there. Like his claim to fame is getting robbed to Jose Ramirez. If you
He looked good though.
If you're on that
he
argument,
looked good. But in that fight I was watching, I was like, I thought he looked better, even in the Ramirez and the Pedraza fight.
Yeah.
You know, those fights. That's what I was like. So I was kind of like, and I think I forgot which one of them said. I think it was Andre Ward who said it. Sometimes fighters fight down to their competition.
yes.
Oh, yeah,
Andre Ward said that.
So,
Andre Ward definitely said that years ago. But I'm sorry we're keeping you on, man. Go ahead and give out your social media, and thank you once again for giving us an opportunity.
Like I said, man, whenever I had a time, I always, have no issues sitting down with you brothers, man. But if anyone wants to reach out to me, hit me up on @Jamel Herring on Twitter, Instagram. And like I said, man, just tune in next Tuesday, July 14th, ESPN.
All right, champ. Well, there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the champion in the flesh. And we are happy that button, man. It helps with the visibility of the show. It lets us know that you enjoy the hard work that we're doing by coming up twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. So if you haven't subscribed, you could do so, and you'll get those notifications every time we go live. On top of that, it helps with the visibility. It ensures that we'll get champions like that right back. Let me go out to the sponsors and open up these phone lines.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready!
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Trey in the Bay, what up?
What's up, man? I just want to say, man, good interviews. Y'all are some of the most consistent people on YouTube, Skype, Periscope, whatever we're going to call it. What's that called?
Well, thank you as always, Trey,
Appreciate
for the support.
Hey,
man. Trey is a Patreon.
Is Blog Talk down?
It has been, and I didn't want to reconnect it, not to ruin the internet with him. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like, look, man, that went down. Let's get the interview done and have no issues, and then we could reopen Blog Talk if necessary.
Gotcha.
But yes, let's go out to. Let me add myself here. Hello. We got Info Joe, California. What up? Yo, when I said what up right now, did it cut out?
At the very end.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like, what up?
No, now I know. See, I hear it myself when I touch this the wrong way. Right there.
Yep.
So when I hit it to the right, I do get a cut. I need to see. I was spraying it the other day. Let me get my little trusty spray bottle out right here.
Little duster.
A little air duster here. Dust
Let
Destroyer.
Let me see it. Put it up.
Nah, dog.
Must be that cookie.
I don't get no.
Yeah.
I don't get no sponsorship money from
No. I
Dust
because I saw it.
Destroyer.
It looked like a weird bottle, so I thought that
has a little straw thing.
It's like a spray.
And it's just
bottle,
air.
aerosol.
It's just air.
Yeah.
It's just air.
But it's moist. Yep. Let me go out to no homo. Let me go out to Info Joe. What up?
What happened?
Mr. Info Joe.
Tell them the truth, go. Tell them the truth.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my
Tell them the
brother.
truth, go. Tell them the truth.
Man, shout out to Jamel, man. He sounds like a cool, good brother, man. I'm glad that everything went cool and he got past the COVID. Hey, man, I was thinking at the same time, man, we had Rob Brand on here, Jamel, and Bomac, man, all stable mates of Crawford, man. I hope they can pass the word that TBV is all right. He can come on the show, man. We want Crawford on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got. Great interviews, man. Hit those thumbs up. You're listening to the #1 pound for pound boxing podcast. Peace.
Cheers. Going out to the king.
Just like the king is what I mean. My down back. The king is what I mean.
You there?
Yo, the champ is hitting the parkour right now.
All right. He's not there.
Yo,
You there?
Yo.
We hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Talk to us.
Y'all can hear me?
We do.
Let's go, champ.
Yo. Thanks for asking that question, just for putting it out there to champ. You know what I'm saying? I told Ness when it happened. I did some goofy business, so appreciate that. Definitely waiting for that fight to come up. I'm out here, you know what I'm saying, getting my black Guatemalan on. I'm cutting my grass, man, so I'm going to get out of here.
All right, champ. Salute, man. You cutting your grass, that means you got a home. You know, shout out to you being a home buyer. You know what I mean? Homeowner, excuse me. Let me go to JT, New Orleans.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yo, what's up, Ness? I'm just hopping on, man. What was the topic about? Just hopping on.
We had Jamel Herring on the show, champ. Just talking Herring with him. We was talking boxing with him.
All right, what fight he got coming up?
Jonathan Oquendo.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday on the bubble.
Oh, all right, y'all.
All right. JT, New Orleans. We going out to Keeman, Florida. You just listening for this one, champ?
Get over here!
Keem in the building. Just listening, Ness. All right, so we out. Ness GT on Instagram and Twitter. Catch us on the next one, which is tonight, right? Tonight? Oh, no, that was yesterday because of the fight study. Oh, yeah. Tonight we're back with the new show.
Relationship advice
with
show.
Yanni. That's right. We're on at Patreon, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What's her name?
Yanni. Special guest Yanni at 7:15. If you want to get your question in for her, go ahead. They're saying we got super chats to read.
I didn't see none.
Yeah, there
really?
was one. Yeah, there was one that I caught, but I didn't see the rest. There was for Jamel by Ohio Runs Boxing.
Oh, I just seen Jordan
James's.
James's.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
It says, Ohio Run Boxing says, Jamel staying in Ohio because Ohio runs boxing. And then Jordan James says, who you guys think wins, Haney or Gary Russell? Wins who? Versus each other or versus Jamel? You lost me.
I think he means
each other.
I think he means each other. Listen,
hard
I think,
to say, man. Haney should be the favorite because he's the bigger man.
That's all I was about to say. If it's just a who wins, I think you got to favor Haney just based off of size and
he's big.
when it comes with ability. But if we're talking like who's better or like pound for pound wise, that conversation gets much tighter. And honestly, I think you could go with Gary.
At this point, yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, at this point, exactly, because I think Haney's got a bigger ceiling. Like that's the thing. People talk about Haney like he's it already. Like, bro, he's getting better. He's great, but he's getting better. But I think again, you talk pound for pound, you probably got to give out to Gary.
Absolutely.
Carlito saying, has the host put their question in? The host's going to get to talk directly to her. Why are we going to put a question in? I'm going to just ask whatever I want to ask. I'm going to bring topics up. But I
might put up a topic, though, like just to insert, like naturally. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, we're out. Catch us on the next one, 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace.
Peace.
Cheers.